So what is it? Let's welcome back to the slash not streaming. So how you guys doing? All I wanna know is, did you just jerk off? Leaving all that apart, I want you to come back. I need to get back to close as possible. So what we are about to do is we're gonna read Matthew 5 or maybe 6 or 7 or everything. Is it possible? What is not possible? Why not? It's possible, you stupid bastard. It's not possible. It's possible. We're gonna read in the live on the stream, and why that is important. I'll tell you why that is important, because what is actually Matthew 5, 6, 7? You need to know why I'm giving always more importance in Matthew 5, 6, 7. It's because I am actually a kind of inspired by someone who have actually met God, who talks about God, who got inspired from God, and he have a good range of connection with people who have also gone through the same, or you could call it as a out of body experience. And there are several people who have experienced these things, and they same, almost everyone have a common output. And the people who have understood the experience, they just came back, and what they want is, they're telling us to follow what God is telling us to do. What is God telling us to do? He ain't telling us to actually kill some or fight over something over the basis of religion. No, one would never say such kind of thing. So what would he must have said? Love, help, pray, humble, kind. It doesn't matter whatever it is, but what the thing is, you need to follow what Jesus is telling you to do, or what your God is telling you to do. What? So the people who have experienced such kind of things, they realized that they were supposed to follow what from the above, what they have told us to follow, what they have told us to follow. That's why we got the commandments, the real commandments. Now we are getting closer. Now we are getting on to that point. And Matthew 5, 6, 7 is the Sermon of the Mount, where the Son of God, came to the earth to save people. I don't know his further plans is, but he came on this earth to talk about how the spiritual world would look like. He talks about how you need to live. He talks about he was here before Abraham was, what most Jews were considered about. Like they were, like Abraham had a real top level tire, and Jesus Christ came in and said, brother, my nigga, before Abraham was, I am. Damn. Who can say that? Jews, the strongest of strongest at those times, he just stood against them, bro. Just everyone is watching, and he just stood against them. He knew that he would get thrown by the stones, but did he say that I was just kidding, bro? I was just kidding. No. He said, before Abraham was, I am. So in the Sermon of the Mount, he talks about how you need to actually live, how you need to actually proceed your life by following those commandments, by following how you need to have a righteous life in order to telling you straight in order to get saved. Literally get saved. But as far as I have told this right now to you people, I tell you from the deep bottom of my heart, I'm a sinner. I have done every devastating things that you could ever think of, except homophobic shit. I can't get over to the topic, bro. But I tell you, I've gone through every weird shit. So I don't think I would get saved. But there would be still people around here who literally needs that. Like, once they get that enlightenment from what it is, at least someone would change. At least someone would have it at the top, insightful like light coming onto their mind, telling that maybe this I need to live in such a way, or maybe they would have a change in their mind of how they literally need to live their life. What if Jesus Christ is true? He never telling you to go and fight over someone or just kill someone. Let your masculine warrior energy out of your body to actually smash those people who are against this. He is telling you to love someone even if it's your enemy. Who can say that, bro? Who would say that? I don't think anyone in this world who really want to spread the message of the word of God would never tell you to treat your enemy as same as you do to yourself. How you treat yourself. Who would say that? But he was telling you, at least even in the end times when he was about to die during his cross, every soldiers were torturing him, literally painful torture he was going through, and he told the God, my God, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing. They don't know what they are doing. Who can say that, bro? Definitely not Muhammad Nabi. And I'm telling you the truth. So let's get on to the... Do I need to switch off the light or make it look more beautiful, ambient? Let me try. Just wait. So coming back to the point, I tell you that I am the most sinner of all. I don't think I would get saved, but I would still follow Jesus Christ even if I don't get saved. Who the hell are you to tell me that you can follow Jesus Christ even though I'm gonna go to hell? It's my decision, and I choose it in that way, right? Do I need to download this one? I don't think I need to. The beginning of all, bro. The beginning of all. The beginning of the Bible itself is something mesmerizing. Matthew 5. Let's begin with 5, okay. Read Matthew 5. So what was the ocean? Passion. This is the modern one, and this translation is from someone who have really met God, and God gave him a task to complete in this way. So he just did beautifully, just translated it. And I forgot to tell you, the person who I told you that there were several people who have gone through that out of body experience from their life, right? So one of the person is Georgie Smith, or you can call him Better Call George, my nigga. Love that nigga because he's more honest, trustworthy, something that some person you can literally trust in. Like he just tells the truth, what he feels like. So it may hurt us a bit, but that is his perspective, that is his standpoint. So he stays confident in it, also can deny over that thing. And I love that because he's always honest within his thoughts. Like, I love such kind of people, where when people come and talk me the truth and just hurt me with the truth, I love that. But when people just trying to cover up with lies and lies and lies and shit, I literally would, I could feel them when they're lying, and I won't have such kind of interest. I don't see them as a valuable resource which I can lie on to. Not lie as a lie on to. See, I don't think I need this, right? So Jesus' sermon on the hillside. One day Jesus saw a vast crowd of people gathering to hear him. So he went up the slope of the hill and sat down, with his followers and disciples spread over the hillside. Jesus began to teach them, what happiness comes to you when you feel your spiritual poverty. For yours is a realm of heaven's kingdom. What delight comes to you when you wait upon the Lord, for you will find what you long for. What blessings comes to you when gentleness lives in you, for you will inherit the earth. How enriched you are when you crave righteousness, for you will be satisfied. Imagine Jesus talking on the like top of the hill and the mountain. Everyone is just sitting there, and he just speaking this wisdom. How beautiful that would be, bro. Really beautiful. You can imagine that. Beautiful words coming out of your mouth, and people who sit there they will literally get the honey and milk in their ears. Bruh. How blessed you are when you demonstrate tender mercy, for tender mercy will be demonstrated to you. Which means what you give is what you get, what you sow is what you reap. That is where you, I think it's a kind of a karma kind of thing is literally connected into what he is saying. And that is important for you to understand. Do good and get good. Think good and get good. That is how the manifestations works too. When you think positively with your mind, that is what you want to achieve. So let's get on to the next one. What bliss you experience when your heart is pure. So only, which literally means that you will experience the spirituality, the divine, that positive element within yourself only when your heart is pure. How to make your heart pure? Take out the evil. At least you need to find what evil is within you and understand that, and try to take that out of your life. Or in other words, you just try to integrate within yourself what is your evil side and the conscious side, or else your good side and your bad side. You try to balance that thing. Yeah. For then your eyes will open to see more and more of God. It literally happens only when your heart is pure. Make your heart pure, you stupid piece of shit. Just find your evil side. Just find your evil side and don't try to cover it. You know what you do is you have that weird side within yourself and you try to cover that thing as much as possible. Don't. If you jerk off today, I just jerked off right now. I just jerked off before streaming. Bruh. What? It's the truth. And see, I'm not covering it up. I'm not even hesitated to talk that. It's just something that I did. I'm a sinner. I know that I sin. Keep sinning. I know that I would get punished for that, such kind of things, but I still do that. But I'm not leaving God. One day, complete transformation. Like Jesus died and reincarnated on the third day. Me getting reincarnated someday. I'm waiting for that. Maybe I'm going through the process. One day you could see me like a monk just preaching around this place. I would love to do that. And for the preachers, I'm telling you, when you I'm sorry I'm getting away from the topic, but for the preachers, I'm telling you, preachers, please, when you do preach, don't just take money from anyone as a source of donation or a charity. When you just preach for God, not expecting someone is going to give you money. Don't put the bucket in front of when you preach. You don't need that. What you need to spread is spread the gospel, spread the word of God without expecting anything in return. Anything, at least even as a charity or a donation, don't. That is what a real relationship that you can build between God and yourself. Yeah. How joyfully. So Matthew 9. Beginning from Matthew 9. How joyful you are when you make peace. For then you will be recognized as a true child of God. How can you make peace? Through forgiveness. The forgiveness is a key to make peace. Sometimes I'm not a person who literally every time forgive. No, I don't forgive most of the time. But I'll try my best. Like every time I suppress myself, bro, from my emotions, from my anger. Whenever I just suppress it, I feel like uncomfortable, literally uncomfortable. So only you can make peace or forgive person only when your heart is that open. So at least you pray for them. Praying for your enemy is one of the most masculine trait that you could ever practice in your life. It's praying for your enemy. It's like you don't literally see them as an enemy, but a person who is in distress, literally needs a help. So right now you're not seeing him as an enemy, but you are now getting a wider perspective about this world, and that's just a human with a discomforted soul, and he needs help, as I do. When you think like that, the perspective is completely different. Now let's get back. How enriched you are when persecuted for doing what is right. For then you experience the realm of heaven's kingdom. Which literally means when you talk about Jesus or we talk about the kingdom of heaven, you're gonna get persecuted multiple times. Even if I talk right now, there would be many people who gonna hate me for what I'm saying. But that was what exactly written in this gospel. You're gonna get hate for what the fuck you're saying about the kingdom of heaven. And that is what the path to success is, to the destination is. How blessed you are when people insult, and persecute you. How blessed you are. How blessed you are when people insult and persecute you and speak all kinds of cruel lies about you because of your love for me. So leap for joy, since your heavenly reward is great. For you are being rejected the same way the prophets were before you. So you will get rejected, you will be deceived. People gonna call you fool, stupid, crazy, but still you whatever comes into your mind is just to talk about Jesus Christ, bruh. Greatest experience that you would have. I'm not even nearest to that point currently. I'm not even nearest to that. So that my heart is still impure. I know that, my Lord. Jesus Christ, help me. Because I solely trust in you. You only. You are the only one who could guide me. Your lives are like salt among the people. But if you, like salt, become bland, how can your saltiness be restored? Flavorless salt is good for nothing and will be thrown out and trampled on by others. Which literally means when you sell your soul, when the soul is gone, what is the purpose that you need to live? You see the OnlyFans, you see the Instagram, like OnlyFans kind of subscription, all these type of things that you could see, and you literally feel like, how are they even making this just by showing their body? They're selling their soul, to be honest. They're selling a soul on to be. They have a choice to live a righteous life or to live an impure life. To actually, it's that is why the free will. We have that free will to live. Free will is something that God gave us, so we don't know what's gonna happen next, and we can take decisions any way we want. So it's in our intellectual conscious side, about our logical side. It depends upon completely on ourselves, how the way that we live. You can see many people selling their body to soul to the devil just for a instant pleasure, just for the few moment. Like, I need to have that, I need to get that boobies, I need to get the fame, I need to get millions and millions of money, I need to be rich. And they do some weird stuff. But when the reality hits, when the time passes and you get into an age where nothing feels like, nothing excites you, now you feel like, why the fuck I did that? Now it's the moment that you're gonna start facing the consequences. And since you have lost your soul, there is no purpose in living. There's no purpose in having a life. Just die. I can promote you to die somehow, bruh. You know, I'm kind hard with kind of evil thoughts always come into my mind. Sorry if I getting interrupted with such evil thoughts, but if you need rope or something like that, just I can help you. So Matthew 14, starting from Matthew 14, your lives light up the world. For how can you hide a city that stands on a hilltop? God is standing above and wait you. How can you hide that? How can you hide that? With fame, with pride, with ego, everything is just getting hidden because you're getting blinded by money. You're getting blinded by fame. You're getting blinded by ego. But once you clear your eye, you could see what is on the top. Just look up. And who would light a lamp and then hide it in an obscure place? Instead, that is some deep meaning, bro. You need to literally read by just by yourself. I'm just reading it because This is streaming and I was planning for this one. You know who is guiding this stream. So I need to do this. At least not for you, but for myself. Instead, it's placed where everyone in the house can benefit from its light. So don't hide your light. Let it shine brightly before others, so that your commendable works will shine as light upon them, and they will give their praise to your Father in heaven. I didn't get what he said in the last sentence. But you need to read again. Let me read again. So don't hide your light. Let it shine brightly before others, so that your commendable works will shine as light upon them, and they will give praise to your Father in heaven. I'll only get to know what I really need to know. I don't need to go deeper onto the every word by word. But I'll get the message. I got the message. Bro, now I'm feeling so sleepy. Really sleepy. I'll go for a small break. So that is, and I think we will come back and talk about Matthew 6, Matthew 7, and all this type of things. I think it's not over. Alright. It talks about fulfillment of the law, it talks about anger, it talks about adultery, it talks about making oath, all this type of stuff. Love your enemies. So anger. You're familiar with the commandment taught to those of old. Wait. Yeah. Fulfillment of the law. If you think I have come to set aside the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets, you are mistaken. I have come to bring to perfection all that has been written. Indeed, I assure you, as long as heaven and earth endure, not even the smallest detail of the law will be done away with until its purpose is complete. A literally interesting one. Until the purpose is complete. Bruh. I'm having a wide range of thoughts into my stupid mind. It's about with the until its purpose is complete. Let's get back. So whoever violates even the least important of the commandments and teaches others to do so will be called least in the heaven's kingdom. But whoever obeys them and teaches the truth to others will be called great in heaven's kingdom. For I tell you, unless your lives are more pure and full of integrity than the religious scholars and the Pharisees, you will never enter heaven's kingdom. So what this literally means, it is telling you to obey the commandments. Don't just leave it like that. That is why it's important for you to understand. When he tells to follow the commandments, you don't think like you are forcing me to live in such a way. Do you think the way that he taught you is something gonna do harm for you? If you just follow every commandments that Jesus have told to you, will literally live a heaven in the earth. And look how you are living, and you are actually talking about a person who literally told you to live lovingly, righteously, and you telling him that, are you trying to force me to live the way that I want? Shut the fuck up, motherfuckers. You fucking piece of shit. You don't know what fuck literally means. That is where you just say that. Because you actually you don't know that's truth. You need to know. You need to get to read these things, study for it, and just learn. Just at least if you want to prove that you are an atheist, just learn these things to make yourself understand this is wrong, so that you can prove that this is wrong next time when someone asks about it. You don't need to just say that I'm just an atheist. Just search for it, just find the answers, and if you don't get it, just convert back to atheist. But I tell you, unless your lives are more full of integrity resources, anchor your familiar with commandment taught to those of old, do not murder or you will be judged. But I'm telling you, if you hold anger in your heart toward a fellow believer, you are subject to judgment. And I do that. I have that. That is why I'm telling you, I'm not gonna get saved. But people who literally read these things, if someone is gonna get saved, at least by listening to this and just realizing the way that you need to live and just living in such a way, maybe you get saved. But I don't get saved. I know that. And do not murder, you will be judged. If you hold anger in your heart, someone talk shit about me, I'll hold my anger in my heart. I hope it changes. I get aggressive. I become evil. I really want to smash the fucking shit out of him until I see a complete satisfaction. So he is literally telling us how to live righteously, and these are words that everyone who just listen to this, you know that it's never gonna harm in some way anyway, but it is literally helping us. Bible is a source of all psychology, bro. Literally knows. It have talked about all the psychology of a human, and it also told us on how to live. Like it's like a game. God created this one, and he even came on this earth to teach how you need to play. You don't need to play X, Y, A, B. You need to play like B, A, X, Y. That's the way that you need to play it, and just went. And still we are confused on how we need to fucking live. And whoever demands and insults a fellow believer is answerable to the congregation. And whoever calls down curses upon a fellow believer is in danger of being sent to a fiery hell. This literally talks about the dark magic and type of stuffs. Since everyone have the free will, dark magic works. Even if my friend, he's a righteous person, he follows God commandments, but I am a person who do these evil sorceries, and telling him, and I'm do some kind of rituals occult to take him down, he will literally get fucked up, because it works, because that is my free will and I chose to happen in such a way, and it was his free will and he never expected that thing. So for that, I'm gonna have the consequence really weird, hellish consequence in the afterlife, or maybe in the life itself. Most probably you will literally get those consequences in the life itself, maybe instantly or after some time. You won't go unpunished in this world. That is kind of a law that you need to understand. You won't go unpunished. So then, if coming back to Matthew 5:23, so then if you are presenting a gift before the altar and suddenly you remember a quarrel you have with a fellow believer, leave your gift there in front of the altar and go at once to apologize to the one who is offended. Then after you have reconciled, come to the altar and present your gift. See, that literally means to make your heart pure. That is what said before. It has been said almost around here. See, what bliss you experience when your heart is pure. That is, it literally connects, bro. When you say forgiveness to person, or you just keep your gift there and go run behind to tell someone who you had fight before, I'm sorry, my brother. And he is saying that, I'm sorry too. See that bliss within you. See what bliss you experience when your heart is pure. Now that your heart is pure, now you're gonna feel that blissful moment, like something, you feel a kind of positivity within yourself, so that could be the reason. So that is where you need to make your heart pure, like no evil shit inside you. This is a great thing. Damn. It is always coming back to Matthew 5:25. It is always better to come to terms with the one who wants to sue you before you go to trial, or you may be found guilty by the judge, and he will hand you over to the officers, who will throw you into prison. That is a really deep thing. I really need to sit with that sentence for at least more than half an hour to get what it literally means. It is always better to come to the terms with the one who wants to sue you before you go to trial, or you may be found guilty. It literally means I think it's talking about the judgment day. Is it talking about the judgment day? It's always better to come in the terms with the one who wants to sue you. When you want to come into the terms, you need to have points which can actually make them believe that you did that. When you live your life, you help someone, you give money to a poor, you give food to the people. So when you are in the judgment day, you have points to talk. So you can come into a negotiation. I think this little talk about the day that you're going to get judged. It is always better to come to the terms with one who wants to sue you. Come to the terms. You need to come into the terms with the one who wants to sue you, which means God, Jesus Christ, before you go to trial, before you are about to experience jail, or you may be found guilty by the judge. So if you don't have anything to say, I think I don't have anything to say. When you be truthful, you would speak only the true things, especially in the heaven. You know what you did, and you know what you haven't done, and you know what you are supposed to do at those times. When you help, you say, God, I have helped this. You can come into terms. You can talk about it. You will have points to talk about it. But if you haven't done anything, just being an evil the whole time, why do you go to talk? Nothing. Just stay there, stumble. All the time. Nigger. My nigger. Believe me, you won't get out of prison until you have paid the full amount. Just think for yourself. You'll find the answers about the sentences. It's not about I talking about and explaining it, but you can read it yourself and you will find the meaning, what it literally means. This is the word of God, Son of God, to the earth. Words the God spoke. And adultery. Your ancestors have been taught, never commit adultery. However, I say to you, if you look with lust in your eyes at a woman who is not your wife, you have already committed adultery in your heart. Looking deep inside your body, you could literally feel that when you start to lustfully look at someone or someone's wife, you have that feeling of a regret of, bro, why did I look? Why did I do like that? At those times, you, with the pleasure, with the lust, is taking all over your mind. So you, with just that pleasure, you want to survive the entire moment. So you don't think consciously about what you are doing wrong. But once that lust is all like is boiled down or it cools down, then you will realize what you did wrong. You will feel like, why did I do that? I was not supposed to do that. This literally happens when you do sex with someone who is married. You will feel that extreme pleasure with her when you are fucking her, but when it's over, when you are about to get onto the bike and leave, or a car and leave, you will realize why. And he says, whoever look lustful to a woman has committed adultery. That is true. That is true. You know that when you literally start to see someone in kind of a lustful eyes, then your whole perspective about that character changes. You see a smoking hot lady right in front of you, and you just you just look onto her eyes and talking only the logical side, always the good side. Once you look at her boobies, now you're gonna have different thoughts. And even if you talk to her eyes, eye to eye contact, you'd still be thinking about fucking her in doggy style. And that is a truth. So that it literally, like, that's what it's just. It's literally the psychology talks about a human psychology, but in the spiritual way. If your right eye seduces you to fall to sin, then go blind your right eye. For you're better off losing sight in one eye than to have your whole body thrown into hell. My God. I need to cut my 90% of my body to get into heaven. That's how. Yeah. I'm the most stupid person you could ever like. You could take the list of entire human list of stupidity, and I would be on the first. Always on the first on stupid things. I'm a stupid person, or a stupid brain, stupid minded shit. I'll be on the top list. Most sinner of all. Most evil of all. But you're better off losing sight when it has been said, whoever divorces his wife must give her legal divorce papers. However, I say to you, if anyone divorces his wife for any reason except for infidelity, he causes her to commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. That's why you must never marry a single mother. Even if you marry a single mother, life won't be as good as you think. And in movies, you could see they're living a great life, but having sex with a single mother is one of the most devastating things that you could ever have in your life. And if you marry a single mother, you will face a lot of consequences that you will get into another trap. It's not a responsibility, but it's going to be a trap. Woman rainbow, it's naturally designed in that way, as well as men's mind or men's thought pattern is also designed in such a way. So you know what happens when a woman becomes a single mother and trying to get into marry someone else. Don't. Making oath. Again, your ancestors were taught, never swear an oath that you don't intend to keep, but keep your vows to the Lord God. However, I say to you, Don't bind yourself by taking an oath at home. Don't swear by heaven. For heaven is where God is. God's throne is placed. Not feeling a lot. Let me take a small break. So that is what I'm saying all the time, that God is one who actually gets into my streaming, and He's the one who actually takes over this. I don't want anyone to actually. I don't know what I'm saying, bro. I just keep talking like this bullshit. I feel so happy when I talk about these things, because I'm doing something that I'm planning to do. It always keeps me in a state where I'm actually completing something which I wanted to. And I ain't gonna. I'm so developed within myself, I'm so confident within myself, and I'm pretty sure, and I know that. So I don't fall easily, just like most people would, who just literally craves for likes and this and that. You could see how they I don't smoke much. It's a half smoked cigarette I just smoked in the afternoon. So what I'm saying is, many people, when they crave for likes and attention, they lose their self-respect. Literally, in a really weird way, they just lose it for to get something which they don't even need for the soul. Always look for the food for the soul. Food for the soul is much more important than the food for your flesh. You know what I mean? That is why it is important you to have a spiritual life and a materialistic life mixed together. You need to know how to balance it well. But talking about that, it will literally go into a deepest of forest. Like, it's a deep forest, bro. These are all things, and you would get an answer like as a base on how you will get a base layer of how to live. But when you go deeper into Rudolf Steiner and Immanuel Kant, Paracelsus, especially Rudolf Steiner, then Manny P. Hall, you will realize that, and Hermes Trismegistus, bruh, that is a whole another topic. When I smoke, this is literally my mom. If my mom comes up, she's gonna catch me. I'm done. But she knows I smoke. She knows that I smoke. I have told her openly, but that is where, that's what I'm telling you. Most people would literally say that I'm not doing anything. I don't do this. When her parents ask him, "What are you?" You would be like drinking or smoking. You would be like, "I'm at my friend's home, ma." But you are not. You are just lying. And I don't want to lie. So when she asked me, I would say like, even if in the funny way, I would say, "I'm just smoking with my friends. Don't disturb me, okay?" At first, she was literally like, "What are you saying?" And eventually, she got adapted to that. Okay, what the fuck you just do? You just look at your grandpa. He died of cancer. He, uh, Lord, save his soul. I loved him. One of the strongest men that I've ever seen. But I'm telling you, she would say that look at the grandpa, and you would go through the same situation as he goes through. And she would leave the topic. Free will, nigga. And also, this is not a good thing that I'm doing. And don't copy me if anyone is trying to. These are all not gonna do good. Even in the, you have a different levels of body, etheric body, astral body, and smoking this is never gonna do good to your etheric and astral bodies. It's gonna block your consciousness with the astral and the etheric side of your body. I was a chain smoker before, bro. Like a really weird chain smoker. I used to smoke at least 12 to 15 cigarettes a day when I was working in a street food restaurants making Alfredo and Bolognese and Milanese and all this type of stuffs. Every time I get a break, smoke. Since it was a street food center, it's easy to get out. It's easy to go outside when you're getting a free time and smoke wherever you want. I love those moments. I literally loved those moments when, it was interesting. Talking about, unless that, I was a blind person at those times. Really blinded by pleasures, drugs, addictions, smartphone, Instagram, literally everything. And right now, at least I'm putting an effort to control myself. And this streaming and all this type of things would be a result of my effort to do something good to my body, productive. The one thing that I always proud of myself is I'm always working out consistently for 3 years. I don't know how this stupid person get into this kinds of productive mindset, but somehow I'm consistent in that. So shall we get back to this one? Making art. Again, your ancestors were taught. No, I think I speak that, right? Yeah. However, I say to you, don't bind yourself by taking an oath at all. Don't swear by heaven, for heaven is where God's throne is placed. You know why they say not to swear? Because your words are more important. That is why what you speak, say truth to your words. Like people would come and say, he's a man of words, he's a man of word. What it literally means, he do what he speaks, he do what he say, he fulfills what he talks. So if you take an oath and if that is not gonna happen, then that literally means you failed. And words have a really, 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 really good amount of power within it. And you don't know the importance of the words that you are using. For me also, every time I talk about these good things, there will be a negative side, and I would be the example of that. You could see how I always curse when I speak my words. Don't be like me, my brothers and sisters. I'm not a good example for you. I'm just a child sitting standing far away from heaven and telling you that is the way to heaven, and I'll be walking the opposite side. I've accepted it, bro. I've accepted my fate. However, I say to you, don't bind yourself by taking an oath. Don't swear by heaven. Don't swear an oath by the earth, because it is a rock under God's feet. And in the esoteric concept, earth is considered as a feminine thing, and fire is considered as the masculine thing, the action. Feminine is the thought, and not by Jerusalem, because it is a city of the great king. One way would you swear by your own head, because it's not in your power to turn a single hair white or black. But just let your words ring true. Truth. Truth. A simple yes or no will suffice. Anything beyond this springs from a deceiver. Your ancestors have also been taught, take an eye in exchange for an eye, or a tooth in exchange for a tooth. The revenge, the vengeance. However, I say to you, don't repay an evil act with another evil act. But whoever insults you by slapping you on the right cheek, turn the other to him as well. If someone is determined to sue you for your court, give him the shot of your back as a gift in return. And should people in authority take advantage of you, you do more than what they demand. It's like you're being unique person. You are not following the mental pattern or the thought pattern of a human being. What would the human being do if someone hurt you? You wanna hurt back. That is a natural tendency of a human. But when you are thinking more over than that, now you are not behaving like a normal human metrics, mental pattern. It's different. It's new, updated, Android version from 10 to 11. Learn to generously share what you have with those who ask for help. And don't close your heart to the one who comes to borrow from you. An important point that you need to remember. Learn these things and practice in your life so that you can when you get into the judgment day, you can argue with Jesus. I did this, Jesus. I did that, Jesus. And he can say, no, you didn't do that. I can say, it's the truth that you're speaking. So you did it. You did it. That's a point for you. Points to the Gryffindor. 10 points to the Slytherin. Love your enemies. Your ancestors have also been taught, love your neighbors and hate the one who hates you. Especially from my father's family. I could literally see how much hate my family was telling about my father's side. So even though I try to love them, there will be still a pinch of hate within me about them. Why? Because that's what I'm listening. But can you change? Definitely with the help of God. However, I say to you, love your enemy, bless the one who curses you. Do something wonderful for the ones who hate you. The one practice that I do was I would try to pray for my family, pray for my friends, My grandpa, but he's gone. I still pray for him. My grandma, my cousins, my friends, and someone whom I hate. And I feel like kind of at the time I would be feeling like I need to do something. I don't. I would be completely frustrated over such kind of enemy relationship. But when I pray for him, pray for his good, pray for his better future, now I feel like more comforted. I have accepted my evil side, and now with the help of prayer, I'm suppling it out. I'm dissolving it into infinity. Damn. And still I won't show my other cheek to my enemy who slaps me. For that will reveal your identity as children of your heavenly Father. He is kind to all by bringing the sunrise to warm and rainfall to refresh whether a person does what is good or evil. What reward do you deserve if you only love the lovable? Don't even the tax collectors do that? How are you different from others if you limit your kindness? How are you any different from others if you limit your kindness? Only to your friends? Don't even the ungodly do that? I love you guys. Since you are the children of perfect Father in heaven, become perfect like him. That was a good session, right? A really nice session. I loved it. I'll come right now. I think that's a fucking end of it. And we'll get back to next day with more extroverting energy of a really weird type of myself, because I am kind of a bipolar, you know what I mean? I'm a fucking bipolar all the time. Sometimes I'll be like this, so calm and perfect. Sometimes I will literally beat the shit out of that fucking nigga. But all the time, in the end, I will always rely to my Lord Jesus Christ, because I'm made like that. It's hard for me to change, so I be what I am. I don't want to hide myself. Duh. So this is me signing off. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great life, and God bless you, and help people. That's it.